All right, we live. Everything black. We're talking about the LA fires. We're gonna give you the latest on it. Um, me, Regina, we're gonna do this thing like it's supposed to be done. All right, Regina, I got a recording here of Governor Newsom
Hmm.
talking about the Marshall Plan. I don't know if you saw that yet, but I just saw it, so I'm gonna go ahead and play it and get an idea of what he's trying to do.
And then the Super Bowl, and then the Olympics. With this rebuilding effort needing to take place, is LA going to be ready for all of those global events?
My humble position, and it's not just being
Fair
naively
use,
optimistic.
YouTube,
That only
Facebook,
reinforces
fair use,
the imperative of
educational
moving
purpose.
quickly, doing in the spirit of collaboration and cooperation. President of the United States, Donald Trump, to his credit, was helpful in getting the Olympics to the United States of America, to get it down here in LA. We thank him for that. This is an opportunity for him to shine, for this country to shine, for California and this community to shine. The opportunity with all of that and all that opportunity and that pride and spirit that comes from not just hosting those three iconic games and venues, but also the opportunity, I think, to rebuild at the same time. And that's why we're already organizing a Marshall Plan. We already have a team of looking and reimagining LA 2.0, and we're making sure everyone's included, not just the folks on the coast, people here that were ravaged by this disaster.
You just said you're organizing a Marshall Plan for the rebuilding of California. What is that Marshall Plan? Tell us about this Marshall
We're just
Plan.
starting to lay out. I mean, we're still fighting these fires. So we're already talking to city leaders. We're already talking to civic leaders. We're already talking to business leaders with nonprofits. We're talking to labor leaders. We're starting to organize how we can put together a collection of individuals on philanthropy for recovery, how we can organize the region, how we can make sure that we are seeking federal assistance for the Olympics more broadly, but also federal assistance for the recovery efforts, and how we can galvanize the community with folks that love this community to really develop a mindset so that at scale, we're dealing with the scope of this tragedy and responding to it at scale with efficiency, like the executive order I talked about, time value of delivering projects, addressing building codes, addressing permitting issues, and moving forward to rebuilding and being more resilient.
Sound like to me that they had this planned already.
Into the issues around water.
Hold on. What you think?
It sounds pretty quick. I mean, you still got fires.
Yeah.
You still got fires burning, and you planning on what you gonna do to rebuild. You already have a plan. You ain't even plan. Right. You ain't got a plan on how you gonna get the fires out. You already talk about what you gonna do after it's out. It's just crazy to me. I mean, the whole thing. They were to the point to where they were unequipped to get the fires out. They don't have water to get it out, supposedly. But then you got a whole plan on what you're going to do to rebuild after a fire. You already got it planned.
Yeah, for the Olympics.
For the Olympics. And that's true. You know, I'm not one of those people who a conspiracy type person. But that sounds real funny. I mean, how are you going to do all that? You can't even get fires out.
That's exactly what I was thinking. As soon as he said that, I was like, "Damn, he already had." Sound like they had this plan before.
Mm-hmm.
Now they were planning to get all this out the way so they could, because he said LA 2.0, a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know it's already messed up downtown LA.
LA is not what that is. You know, for real.
Yeah,
it really is not
going on down there.
Yeah, it's homelessness. It's old. They haven't redid it, and I've been there here recently, so I was very disappointed. I was kind of excited to go when I did go, and got there, and it was nothing like what you were expecting. For people to have the money that they have for that whole city and stuff like that, you would think that they would keep everything up and everything would look a certain way, and it didn't. It from the airport all the way to wherever. The airport would look like they haven't nailed they haven't screwed a screw, painted a thing of paint. everything mismatched. It just everything just looked bad. So they really did need to redo something, especially if they're gonna have the Olympics there. They need to do something
Right.
with that airport. To start with the airport. That's what they need to do. Because the airport was a mess. And
Right.
I was very highly disappointed. And it wasn't all that. So burning it up, I hate it for the people who lost their homes and people who really worked for their homes. I mean, I'm talking about I hate it for the rich people too. I'm not trying to be funny because that's their home.
Right.
They have their memories, they have their families, they live there and different things like that, and they have to start from the scratch. But I really hate it for the ones who really worked hard to get what they have and tried to keep what they have, and then had that plan to pass down to their families. That's
Right.
where generational wealth goes. You pass it on and you have a legacy to make it easier for your family. Now you don't have that to pass down to. It's very hard to live out in LA. It's expensive. The houses is outrageous for what they trying to, $1 million house look a mess and
Right.
everything else like that. So it'll be hard for them to rebuild because their wealth was in their house, and if they don't have that house, they will never be able to live in that same area ever again because nobody they can't sell their house in order to get that money.
Right.
The house is burnt down. So
Right.
I really feel for them, because they really was banking on having that property, and that property they could probably sell the land, but it still is not going to be enough for them to buy anything else.
Right. Go ahead and talk. Let's see what he's talking about on this investigation. Let me play this part right here, and then we'll go to something else.
Water supply that we've seen. What are the questions that you're hoping to answer?
The same ones you're asking, same ones that people when I'm in the streets are asking, yelling about. What the hell happened? What happened to the water system? Was it, and by the way, was it just overwhelm that you had so much that was used? We drew it down. Was it pipes? Was it electricity? Was it a combination of pipes, electricities, and pumps? What was that drawdown impossible because you lost 7,000+ structures right here anyway, and every single structure we lost had a pipe that was leaking, and we'd have lost that water pressure anyway. Did it contribute in any way to our inability to fight the fire, or were 99-mile-an-hour winds determinative and there was really no firefight that could have been more meaningful? So all of us want to know those answers, and I just don't want to wait. Because people are asking me, I want to know those facts. I want them objectively determined, and that the chips fall where they may. This is not about finger pointing.
You say what to people who insist that these independent investigations or calls for them? Are you passing the blame onto other people?
How could it be when we're doing an independent investigation and we just want the adjudication of the facts? As I say, it's not about finger pointing. It's about answering the questions you and everybody wants answered. And I think there's a propensity to wait to answer those questions, and people want immediacy. They want response and responsiveness. And so that's the idea.
You regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor?
Oh, here go the mayor right here.
Have you nothing to say today?
What is the situation with the water? Obviously, in the Palisades, it ran out last night from hydrants. I was trying to firefighter in this block. They left because there was no water in the hydrant.
Let me see if I can get that mayor back on here.
You've also called for an independent investigation
Here, local.
Yeah.
over the course of the next several years. Los Angeles will be host to the World Cup, and then the Super Bowl, and then the Olympics. With this rebuilding effort,
all right, there we go. So the next thing I was gonna say, that chief Janice Quart, what you say her name was?
Keonis?
Yeah. She was paid $750,000 a year to oversee this water supply thing, and come to find out, she knew about some of the pipes and the hydrants that wasn't even plugged up, and she had the reservoir shut down that held 117 million gallons of water. So,
I mean, why would she have they shut down?
From what I've read, it was for repairs.
Oh, okay, okay.
So,
Well, that's
but
not
they
her
are
fault.
blaming her for it.
I know they are. The reason and the main reason why they trying to blame her for a lot of the stuff is because she an easy target. She's a gay woman, and
Oh,
she's a
what?
woman. And she's a
Oh,
woman.
she LGBT.
Yeah. So they calling her anything to say DEI hire.
Right. Right.
So that's the main thing. They feel like, if it was a man, a straight white man in that position, it wouldn't have got out of hand. But Gavin Newsom is a straight white man, and guess what? he the governor of the state. That's not
Right.
helping things.
Right.
The thing was, it was a whole perfect storm. You only have, like I said, LA is old. They haven't tried to fix it up. They haven't did, constant repairs or anything. You could tell by looking at it.
Right.
And if the infrastructure is failing, you're gonna have to stop. Something gonna have to be brought down for maintenance. That's just how it go. It just happened to be that this fire started during the time that they finally decided they need to focus in on the maintenance of this equipment. And she did the best she could do. She just a fire chief. She don't have nothing to do with the money allocated toward getting things fixed. She don't have it. She can ask for it, but they don't mean she's gonna get it. She can ask for certain things, but they don't. She like I said, she was the easy target. Her and the mayor is easy target. The mayor is a black woman. She's a gay woman. So that's how they go. So everything is gonna be their fault. But
Can you turn that down? Oh, I'm sorry.
In all fairness, everybody's in blame because everybody knew they was LA and California is ripe for fires.
I could get copyright strikes for this. You turn that down?
So
I'm sorry.
everybody know that it is fires, that goes out. They always have wildfires. They always, California's always burning somewhere. And so they continue to build in those areas. And they have you have it's bad when you have a fire season. I ain't never, California, I think, is one of the few places that have fire season. And you build in a fire zone and different things like that. It to the point to where the insurance companies pulled out, or they go insure you, but they're not gonna insure you for fire. You don't have fire insurance anymore. So you continue to live there. You continue to build. I understand people who always been there for a long time, since the 1900s, 1920s, whatever it was that they started going there. I can understand those houses, but the ones who built brand new houses in fire zones,
Right.
something's wrong with you when you see that it's always burning in California.
Right.
So everybody's to blame. Don't get to pointing the fingers on trying to figure out why he couldn't stop my house from getting burnt down, and I'm sitting up here getting in fire alley. You shouldn't have moved there. You shouldn't have built there. That's
Right.
just my thing. Everybody's to blame. Everybody
Right.
in California, you should have been getting all that dead brush down. You knew you haven't had no rain and I don't know when, so you knew you was ripe for some fires to begin with. So
Right.
you should have been making a plan. You should have been running around here trying to water stuff down or something to keep these fires from spreading like it did. You should have been getting all that dead brush. You should have been running through and trying to get with some people to try to figure out how to minimize all the damage if fires did break out. And they didn't do none of that. They did nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was just terrible. And I feel bad for the common person. I really do. I feel bad for the common people. I feel bad for the homeless people, because now you done made your problem that much more worse, because
Right.
you got so much more homeless people now. These people don't have nothing.
Right.
Some of those folks don't have,
And-
they don't have no clothes. They don't have anything.
Right, and they ain't even mentioned the homeless people that's downtown.
No, they ain't. I mean, but downtown was not on fire, but it was homeless everywhere. So it's I don't care where they were. It was some homeless somewhere. They cover their eyes to it and turn a blind eye to all this homeless. But it's no way in the world you could throw a rock anywhere in California and not have a whole bunch of homeless people. I just worried about them when they abandoned their cars because the fires was going so fast that the people couldn't even drive out fast enough that they had to leave their cars in the middle of the road. So what did the homeless people do? How did they get away from the fire? Is what I'm trying to figure out. I know they don't have a whole lot. They don't have a whole lot anyway. But how did they actually? Everybody else got in the car and drove away.
Right.
So if you don't have a car and you just kind of walking, a lot of people live in their cars. Don't get me wrong. Some of them do live in their cars, and a lot of them have RVs and things like that. But the ones that don't, the ones that's laying around on the sidewalk and living in the middle of the median and on the sidewalks and different things, the way I seen it down there, how did they get away when fires was coming? I just really don't understand. They focus in on everybody else, but they were saying, well, they didn't have no houses to lose, but still, I mean, that don't mean that the things that they had was not valuable to them.
Right.
And it just, I don't know. It
like
was
I
just
say, they don't mention
too much homelessness. I was looking forward to too much homelessness.
They don't mention
for you to say that they weren't affected. Yes, they were. There's no way in the world. I mean, they were everywhere, and I mean everywhere, to the point where you can't enjoy nothing. I couldn't enjoy anything there because I'm too busy looking at all these people being homeless and wondering why is it with people with a state that have as much money as they have, with the people that have as much money as they have, why is the homeless this bad? And ain't nobody trying to do nothing to help them at all. They just walk on by, like ain't nothing. I don't see them, and they not gonna disturb my groove and my happiness, and keep on going. Right. They don't do nothing but just lock down the bathrooms, and that's it.
Right. I was also reading that this fire cost $135 billion to the state. Mm-hmm. The insurance companies, according to JP Morgan Chase, said that they only gonna pay $20 billion, and the state and the city and the government got to come up with the $115 billion that's left.
Well, that's what they say. That's what they say, but they already have a thing to where they had it to where, how they was putting out that some of these insurance companies weren't gonna pay the people, but they are. It's some kind of way that where if they were allowed to practice or sell insurance in the state of California, that they have to pay out, and they have a way to where they have this thing called FAIR, to where if for some reason you can't get insurance through the private companies, that you can go to this last resort type thing to where you can get your insurance. It costs an arm and a leg, but you can still get your insurance. But they were saying that they're going to run out of money, but that's not how it goes. They do run out of money, but if they do run out of money, then those companies that do sell insurance in that state are supposed to pick up the tab and pay out the people. They named about 10 of them. The thing is that they're going to pass the expense off to the consumer. Right. And at first they said it was just the consumers in California, but they're really saying now that the consumers is going to be nationwide. Everybody's going to have to pick up this bill because the insurance companies are going to pay out, and they can't really pay it out without recouping their money some kind of way. Right. And I think that's real messed up, that everybody's going to have to pay for these wildfires. Everybody's going to, their bills is going to go up behind this.
Well, our taxes too.
Yeah, the taxes kind of
federal money come out of there, which will be federal. Well, yeah,
because they already said that they was going to, they was guaranteed some federal money and different things else like that. But, I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with that because hey, if they can give money to these different countries, like it ain't nothing, they can give it to California. How about that?
Right.
So
And
it shouldn't affect us any too bad because like I said, evidently they got money to spare. They just throwing money out the window. So
yeah, for immigrants.
uh-huh.
And
Not just immigrants, for wars and different things, and
I
different
know,
other
yeah.
things like that. They
Yeah.
giving money away left and right. You
Right.
know, every time Ukraine asks for something, they voluntarily give them something. Israel asks for something, they give it money. You know,
That's right.
if they gonna give money away to other countries, you need to be giving money to your own country because, like I said, the infrastructure in California was not up to par, as we can see.
Yeah.
And California is not the only place where infrastructure is lagging. It's a lot of places. And that's what Biden was trying to say, that the infrastructure here was bad, and he was trying to get that back up to par because we haven't paid attention to infrastructure in decades. So we're
Well, you know, they
living
supposed been passing all that money when Biden got appointed, but apparently nothing went out or something.
because they
What happened?
blocked it. They blocked it.
They
Congress
blocked it. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
Congress blocked it.
let's go to
And-
this part about
Mhm.
the inmates. How much they
Okay.
getting paid? They on the front line fighting the fires. They only, according to the New York Times, they only getting $10.24 max a day.
Mhm.
According to what I
From
read.
$5.80 to $10 and something a
Right.
day.
Yeah.
And
To fight and they on the front line fighting these blazes fire. You know.
yeah, they're fighting the fires. They're recovering bodies. They're doing all the hard work. On top of it, when they sleep out there, instead of sleeping in like cabins and different things like that, they're sleeping out in tents
Right.
and different things like that. They do get a little bit better perks, like they said. That some of
Get
one
an
of the
additional
ladies.
dollar for something.
Well, it's not a whole lot, but one of the ladies said that they do get an extra pill. They get a good pillow. It's some kind of perks. It's a few. They get
Okay.
to eat a little bit better, during that time. And the main perk is they get some time off their sentence.
Yeah.
Everybody can't be a firefighter. It have to be certain crimes, and you have to pass certain things in order for you to do it. You have to have certain crimes. I think you have to have no more than about 8 years.
Oh, okay.
It's something like that. It's something to where you have certain guidelines
Like
where
a
you
petty
qualify
crime.
for it.
They can-
Yeah,
petty
the
crime
way.
they can do.
Yeah,
And
it's a
this
certain amount.
also I read also, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I also read that it started in 1915
Oh, really?
when they started using these inmates for fighting fires.
Okay.
According to NPR, it started in 1950.
Evidently, this is a thing that everybody in California know about.
Right.
Because a lot of them know that they have brothers and like I said, it was ladies that was working on there and different things like that, and they are known to do that. And then they some of them can go to some classes to where they'll be certified once they come out. Some of them can use that experience once they get out for service for fighting fires to work for what they call fire fire, to where they fight wildfires there. It's not like a fire department type thing, but it's a thing to where they do forest fires or forestry. They go to the forestry department, and a lot of them get jobs there, depending on whatever their crimes were before that. If it qualifies them, they do take felons. It depends. It's on a case by case basis. You just have to be upfront. Of course, it's going to be upfront because they can always do background checks on you. But a lot of them start their career from that. So it is some perks too. Fighting these fires, it is some hard work and it is dangerous. But it is some perks because they do get that experience. They can use that once they get out, and a lot of them do use it once they get out, and that's a good thing, So, but they're not giving them enough credit because they're really the ones that's really, really, really in there fighting, doing the dirty work. And everybody is so busy pointing the fingers, and they're not giving these men the pat on the back because they don't have to do it. They can sit up and be in their cell and play play cards and dominoes all day long. They ain't got to be out there in this heat,
Right.
breathing in all that bad air, fighting on fires for people who would turn their nose up at them in any
Right.
other occasion, you know. So, but they do that because what's going to happen is they do use prisoners for work because they can do that. And the thing is, not only are they, I feel like that's just one of the starting points, and they keep emphasizing how they're using the prison workers to do certain things, because what's going to happen once they start trying to kick out all these immigrants, these farm workers, they're going to start doing the same thing with the prisoners and do the farm work that they need. They're going to say it's a need and it's a national emergency, and they're going to get those prisoners out there to work those farms, just like they doing these fires.
Right.
And there you go. And you can do it because in the 13th Amendment, it allows it. You know, we can only have slave workers only if they committed a crime. And and that's what we would have. That's the modern day slavery right there.
Okay. I don't know can you see that on the screen?
Yeah, I can see something.
Okay.
I see them look like some fires and some people walking.
Yeah. Let me get it over here where you can see it.
Yeah, you done made it little. You know I can't have see nothing.
Nah, you know I'm gonna bring it out over here on this side.
Uh-huh.
So this is the death toll so far, and they got like
What
80.
is it?
Looks like the death toll.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Has risen to 24.
24. That's the last I heard.
Mm-hmm. Still less than 30% contained. I thought it was like 95, 85 or something earlier, but they saying it's less than 30%.
Cause see, it was earlier today. I heard 11%, that's crazy. Why?
So
why
150,000
they
remain under. 150,000 of them remained under evacuation warning. And you know Kamala Harris' house burnt down today.
Oh, did it?
And somebody was trying to break in it, I believe.
Well, yeah, because
it was one of the two. Somebody was trying to break in it, I believe.
Maybe,
I don't think it burnt down.
I don't think so, because I haven't heard that, because they would have been all across.
But Victor Newman's house burnt down from Young and the Restless.
Oh, did it? It's a lot of people. Who was that? Dion Cole. He had to evacuate after he got out the hospital. And
he been in the hospital.
Yeah, he was in the. Yeah, he didn't say what for, but he had got out and immediately went to go get some of his stuff, and he was TikToking and stuff from his car, and it was
so
it was
he
sad.
Ain't got nobody to help him.
I don't think so. I don't know, but at this point, probably everybody's running to their own house to do whatever.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he ain't got a lady or nothing to help him.
Evidently not.
A maid?
No, he was in that car by himself.
And he had just got out the hospital.
He had just got out the hospital.
So maybe he got caught up in the flames or smoke or something and had to go to the hospispittal.
No, because he had been there 2 days. So
in the hospital,
yeah, it looked like a couple of days because I think he had did a post or something like a couple of days earlier.
Okay,
and he was in the hospital, but it's still unclear what he was in the hospital for. And he showed it. He had his car completely filled up, and he had his flowers from his mama's funeral from a few years back, and that was it. And he was in his car in tears, leaving his house.
Okay.
So that was what was going on with him. And
I didn't know about that.
I woke up. Did I see that yesterday or maybe today? On that one. But it's a lot of people. It's so many more people that It's happening too. It's some celebrities, and people think, oh, they're celebrities. They can have all celebrities not rich. Some of them,
I know.
They living from gig to gig. They doing okay for regular folks, but as far as them being rich, if they lose everything they have, they're messed up. So you can't lose everything. I mean, all your clothes, think that everybody's gonna be all right. It's just that's hard to do.
And I know he hadn't been in that many films to be.
He do what's that?
Cover
what is
another house.
Old Spice commercials.
Yeah,
is what he got going on.
Right.
And he have a couple of stand-ups that he did, but I think the last stand-up he did was like a year or so, 2 years ago.
Right.
But that's it. I mean, what was it? What was he on? Blackish. He was on Blackish, but that's been off the air for a while.
But he did another movie here lately that I watched on I think it was Netflix. He did a little Netflix movie. It was real good.
I mean, he's consistent, but not enough to where he can start from scratch. Yeah. And hopefully that he's not one of the ones that they have dropped on, or he got that insurance is really gonna cover. But when it comes down to it, if you had that fair insurance or whatever it was that they had, if it gets down to it to the point where they're making them pay out, you know how long that probably is going to be before they actually see a dime of that money? It's going to be a minute.
6 months?
Probably so. More than likely, with these kind of claims, it's going to be a long time. Right. And so you're going to have to resort to whatever you have, either in the bank or something. A lot of people living with people, that's going to play out after a while. Everybody right now is going to be just like they were for when Katrina hit. Everybody, you come stay with me, you come do this, you come do that. And then they get old real quick in a minute, You can't get to your bathroom, right? You stepping over people and stuff like that. Them folks going to be looking, you look crazy, It's true. You can only stay with people so long. If they're not very close family members and stuff, the hospitality kind of runs dry after a while, and people start trying to look at you like, what you gonna do,
Right?
Because they want their own comfort back, in their own homes. They mean well when they first do it, but then after a while, that kind of gets old. So, 6 months is a long time, and a whole lot of it's gonna run out before that time. And it's only so many hotel rooms it's gonna be. Even with that many people, everything is full. And who can pay for that? Every day, the hotel like that. It's really sad. You already got a homeless problem. It is sad. That is a lot of people. A lot of people who have really lost everything.
Right. Now, I don't know if you see that. You see this on the screen now?
It's a whole bunch of writing, but it's too tiny for me to see.
Okay, let me bag it up. I'm gonna play it. See if I can get it on here for it. They talking about the hurricane victims who are about to lose their houses.
Just technically, how is he able to commit to 6 months when he's only going to be in office for 10 more days? Is that locked in, or could that change if the next administration has a different idea?
This is a practice that many administrations have utilized to help support the immediate needs in the response to one of these major catastrophic disasters. And what we want to be able to do is recognize the catastrophic impact of that. And the president has the authority through the statute, through law, to be able to commit this amount of funding to support the recovery efforts. I would hope that we look at this, as I think Corrine said earlier, that these are communities that have had a catastrophic impact, and that we want to make sure that we are doing everything we can as a federal family to support them on this recovery journey.
So you see that?
Yeah, because they already started before California. They had been doing it to Florida. The insurance companies were pulling out of Florida. They couldn't get insurance because, especially this past year, because they said that the Gulf waters and the Atlantic waters were really, really hot. So they were predicting that it was going to be a whole lot of major hurricanes coming through there. So when they heard the predictors of that last year, they started trying to pull out and say they weren't going to cover the people in Florida because they said that they would go under. And I feel like, if you're going to sell insurance in the whole United States, you can't just be pulling out like that. You just can't, because something, it looked like it's going to be bad or it's a drought, so we're not going to cover y'all this year, but we'll be back in 2 years from now. No, if that's the case, you can't cover nobody, because that's the whole purpose of having insurance.
Right.
You can't just go to just certain places where it's convenient for you and that's it. You can't. No, I just feel like it ought to be some kind of law, some kind of statute that says that if you're going to practice in the United States, then you have to be able to cover everybody, regardless of what the conditions are. Right. And they started with that. They started with Florida a couple years ago, and then they did it with California, because California had a bad year last year with the fires. So that's when they started trying to pull out, and people started losing their fire insurance, which I didn't even know you could lose fire. I mean, not have homeowners insurance and not have fire insurance. I thought that was hand in hand. But no, evidently that's what was going on. And I'll not be, you can't say, well, we'll insure you, but it shouldn't be to the point to where the insurance is so high, you might as well say you don't have it,
Right. So this right here was about the housing, FEMA, the housing for the citizens, residents of North Carolina. Their housing is expired today, and they had to notify all the people. And then Biden was trying to do an emergency program for him before he got out of office.
So
that's
did he do it?
Yeah, she said he got the power to do it, but she didn't say if he did it or not. But according to some people, he did it already. So.
Yeah, because they lost their whole community too. So.
Right.
And that's what happened is they pulled out of Florida, wasn't even thinking about North Carolina, and North Carolina is the one that got them hard.
Right.
And that was the ironic thing that happened.
Right.
You wouldn't cover Florida, but then you cover North Carolina, and North Carolina is the one that bit you in the behind.
Right.
So the insurance company just getting what they. I don't feel sorry for him at all. That's what happened to that CEO. That's why people was applauding it. Oh boy, which he shouldn't have been killing nobody, but still, that's why you don't have no sympathy, because the insurance companies will take all your money. You pay into it for 30 or 40 years. As soon as you try to make a claim, then they want to drop you or don't want to cover. Here
we go right here. I think, remember we were talking about the homeless? No, that ain't the home. That's the Indian. That's somebody else. That's another country.
Okay.
They out, because I think they had a big hurricane or something that hit. Hold on, let me see who else out here. Let's see what else I see on here before we end the show. Here's some footage of what happened of the flames there. So let me put that up.
Yeah, it was horrific. It was really crazy.
Yeah. This is a little footage of it. I thought I put it big, but it went back down on the other side.
Could you imagine how much the insurance companies got to pay? Because
I know.
Just the little old bitty simple houses, and I mean these houses look the simple house. They're $1 million, $2 million houses. So
that's what I'm saying.
Each house is $2 million. All these little old bitty houses is $2 million.
Right. And that's part of the devil's story. You see that right
there? I'm looking at that.
I mean, the flame right there by the house, by the little, those are little corner stores there, liquor store. Right behind them.
And the people, they took too long to be evacuated. Nobody had to tell me.
I know it. Well, some of the people didn't want to go, so they had to force them out.
I know. They had
you seen all the people they were pulling out in wheelchairs.
Oh my goodness.
This is some of the devastation that's going on. I think Kamala Harris' house in this area right here.
Oh, okay.
I know they were saying that. So, in the Palisade edition. And somebody was, guess what? I didn't tell you this, 30 people have got caught for playing like they was firemen going in to steal people's
I believe it.
Property.
I believe it. I believe all that.
30 people.
Impersonating. But I've heard something about some people had either put some misinformation out about telling these people like it was okay for them to go in there and go take some stuff. And those people took the bait, and I'm like, who in their right mind? You want to go steal anyway. You just needed the excuse to go over there. Ain't nobody told you can go over there in them people's house and go get their stuff. Then you got the mentally unstable people that's running around here that like to set fires, who's running around setting other fires too.
Right. This is the before and after the fire. See the buildings that was there before, and the ones that's gone now. The bottom one is the ones that's gone, and the top one is where they were. What they looked like before it went down.
Yeah, it's really, really sad. It really is, because those people don't have nothing. Some of them don't have no clothes. It was this crazy phenomenon that was going on to where it was like posting after posting and TikTok after TikTok, where the men will be in there and their wives or their partners or whoever it was will be in there packing and telling them they need to go ahead, pack, get the stuff together because we got to leave. And they were just sitting there like watching TV, watching football, making sandwiches, and they wouldn't pack nothing. And their wives were like, we need to pack. And they just sitting there like wasn't nothing happening. Right. And you could clearly see these flames in the windows, and to the point to where the woman is screaming and hollering like, you need to get your stuff together. So he wouldn't move until somebody like either knocked on the door and told him you have to get out. And then later on he'll complain, I don't even have my birth certificate. Why? Because they sit there for hours. That woman got all her stuff and he ain't got nothing.
Right.
And they were saying that it's some kind of study to where when disasters hit or something like that, where men will either like shut down and just pretend like ain't nothing happening, or they just don't want to pay attention to the women because they feel like women are warriors and ain't nothing finna happen. Oh, they just people just saying whatever. I can see it and it's not gonna happen to us. It ain't never happened to us, and they don't pay attention. Where women like to prepare and get their stuff together. You ain't saying nothing but a word. Heard somebody else house done burned down the street. I'm getting my stuff and I'm trying to go. Not that men.
Yeah, I guess they were used to it and they didn't think it was gonna get that bad.
But it's only men that did that. They all done said, I don't have nothing. I didn't get nothing. I don't know why. I should have gotten this and this and that. But that woman would sit up there screaming and hollering at you on TikTok, telling you get your stuff.
Right.
And you didn't want to do it. So I don't know. It's just the thing, and it is, I guess, because this is so unbelievable.
Right.
Some people minds cannot fathom that this is happening, where it's a fire over here, it's a fire over there. The whole neighborhood is gonna be gone. Their mind cannot process that.
I know. Shit. Mine probably wouldn't either if I was in that situation,
Yeah, I can imagine.
But like they say, it happens all the time now. So,
well, not like to this. It's usually like up in the hills, way somewhere else. It's never like just all off in the city.
Right there in the city.
where it take a whole neighborhood. You know, it'd be the people that's way off, you know, a little bit further out because you have that brush that's around. It's almost like in the country where you got a bunch of fields and different things to where you will feed it in order for it to get to a certain point.
Right.
But no, this right here was like in neighborhoods in the city. So this was a little different. And they weren't prepared for it because the water, they didn't have the water to feed it. They didn't have water to fight it. You know, they get to fire hydrants and they didn't have the pressure to come out of it because they don't use up so much water on these other fires. They have, you know, their water supply done went down. Then you ain't had no water. You ain't had no rain in forever.
Okay, I just found the mayor in a press conference here, so let me play this and then we're gonna end the show. Let's see what she's talking about. Let me get it off quietness here. See, it didn't state. See, that's the mayor. She the one responsible for all this, really.
Well,
really
anyway, I don't know how their city is set up. I know they have like superintendents. And what is this? Is the supervisors in LA? You know, where we have councilors, they have supervisors and different things like that. I don't know if they have city managers there because the city manager is the one who divvy out all the money. The mayor is the one who say what they want. But when it comes to the money part of it, city manager. So I don't know who was their person. I don't know what's the name because evidently it's gonna be something other than city manager. They got what I say, supervisors.
We probably can't hardly hear you right now while he's talking, but
I can't hear them at all.
Or use YouTube, Facebook. Or you. The carbon dioxide can kill you, right?
Huh?
The carbon dioxide can kill you from the smoke.
Yeah, it will. That's smoke inhalation. That's what a lot of people die for in fires. You know, very few people just die from just burning to death. Most people die from the smoke first.
You hear that?
What's that?
You hear that?
What?
That's the stuff on this picture that's blowing up. I don't know if you can hear me.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they were just showing the noise. That's the fire. Yeah, you heard it was blowing up as it was burning. Things were blowing up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of it because they were saying. This other woman I was seeing that they were saying, you know, that the homeless people use propane tanks.
Yeah.
The people that's in RVs and stuff, they use propane tanks.
So that's what's burning. That's what's blowing up.
A lot of them, that and them transformers and different things like that is blowing up. You know, different things that they have. And gas lines and different things and whatnot. Probably some gas stations if they have some gas stations that burning up. All kinds of stuff like that. But yeah.
Anyway, I appreciate it. We've been here right at almost 50 minutes, and the show we're gonna end it tonight around 1 hour. Anyway, I appreciate you being on the show. Appreciate your info. And I think this was a good one. To be honest, we brought the facts. I think we mentioned everything everybody else mentioned.
Yeah,
that I've been watching. So
anyway,
appreciate you.
I know it's other people who have folks that they're concerned about over in
LA,
in California. So just in case people didn't have time to do some research, hopefully we help some people try to understand what's going on over there. So
I got family out there, so I'm gonna give a couple of my family members some call to make sure she all right. So
everybody just pray for the people over there because they gonna need it. They need monetary assistance. They need some prayers. They need a whole bunch of everything. So everybody need to pray for everybody over there. So
right. Yep. Anyway, thanks for being on the show. This was another good one. We'll continue next week sometime. Everything Black, Frank and Regina did it one more time. And thank y'all for joining us. See y'all on the next one. All right, Regina, take care.
All right, you too.
All right.